Greek myths have also become an important part of our culture. When you're reading or viewing other media, you're likely to come across references to mythological characters like Icarus. Notice that the first lines of this myth refer to another mythological character called Theseus. Theseus escaped from a fierce monster in King Minos's labyrinth, setting the stage for the myth, The Flight of Icarus. A myth is a traditional story that attempts to answer basic questions about human nature or the natural world. In a myth, events occur that cannot happen in real life. The characters also have unusual or even supernatural powers. Reread lines 1 through 10. What have we learned so far about Daedalus? What evidence in the text hints that he may have unusual or supernatural powers? Pause while you think. We've learned that Daedalus is resourceful and ingenious. The lines, "But he does not control the air. I will try that way," hint at unusual powers since there was no air travel in the time of the ancient Greeks. The theme of a literary text is a message about life or human nature. In a myth, the theme often reveals what is important to a culture. The first step in determining the theme of a myth is to determine what the characters want. Reread lines 4 through 12 to identify what Daedalus and Icarus want. They want to escape from the island of Crete. Once you've discovered what the characters want, the next step in determining the theme of a myth is to learn what they will do to reach that goal. Reread lines 15 through 29. Summarize what Daedalus does to help himself and his son escape from the island. Pause while you think. He makes 2 sets of wings from melted wax and feathers. He intends that he and his son will fly away from the island. The final step in determining the theme is to analyze how well the characters succeed at reaching their goal and why. Reread lines 39 through 47. Cite the specific evidence that suggests Daedalus's plan will not go well. Pause while you think. Daedalus watched him proudly, but with misgivings. No human being has ever traveled through the air before. If you fly too low, the fog and spray will clog your wings. And if you fly too high, the heat will melt the wax that holds them together. Remember that myths typically include events that cannot happen in real life and characters with unusual abilities. Reread lines 57 through 63. Cite specific evidence in the text that illustrates these 2 aspects of a myth: events that can't happen in real life and characters with unusual abilities. Pause while you think. Daedalus and Icarus are able to fly. The people are watching from below, thinking they're gods. Myths often show the values of the culture in which the myth was first told. Reread lines 60 through 79. Identify the cause of Icarus's fall and what his failure reveals about the cultural values of the ancient Greeks. Pause while you think. He falls because he flies higher and higher, bewitched by a sense of freedom. Finally, the sun melts the wax on his wings, just as his father had warned. This tells us that the Greeks valued moderation and knowing your place, not trying to be like the gods. Remember that to determine the theme of a myth, you should consider whether the characters succeeded or failed at achieving their goal, and why. Reread lines 88 through 95. Keeping Daedalus's original goal in mind, did he succeed or fail? And what might this reveal about a life lesson or theme? Pause while you think. His original goal was to escape from Crete. He succeeded at that goal, but his victory over the air was bitter to him because he had lost his son. This suggests the theme, know your place. Don't soar too high or try to be like the gods.